Cast of the Neil Haley Show and celebrity interviews live from the grotto with Greg Hanna. Greg, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Neil, how you doing? Excited to talk to our guest today.
I am too. I mean, just think about the places he's been, from modeling to acting to political life, race car driving. We got to talk about that. Antonio Sabàto Jr., welcome to the show, man. And you know what? It's so crazy how we in this media world how I connect with people. Antonio, it was just basically you were going on tour in Australia, and I knew the guy who ran the speaking tour, and we met. It's
Mhm.
crazy how these things work.
That's right. That's right. Small world, small business. Everybody knows everybody at some point or another. But I'm fortunate enough that I travel all over the world and I see a lot of people. I meet a lot of people like yourself and stuff. So it's thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. All right, Greg, let's go
That's
with some
cool.
questions. Sort
Antonio,
about it.
how did you get involved in the entertainment industry to begin with?
Well, my father was an actor for many years, and he's actually right over there. I see that picture right there, and he was making a lot of films, and we were living in Italy. I was born in Rome, Italy, before I came to this country, and my father was making films and being an actor, and it's something I always loved to do. I was either that or motor racing or both, just either one or the other. So my father did the same thing. It's kind of like the generation of the Sabatos, always been either entertainment of some sort or racing cars or motorcycles or whatever.
Wow. And in that process, why car racing is another thing. What was
Oh,
the,
well,
the
car racing is like, in the States, you have baseball and football and basketball and sports you grew up watching and really loving. And car racing was for me, I have always followed Formula One, any type of racing really since I was a little boy. I collected cars, I raced in go-karts. I got involved in Formula One here in the States when I moved here. Been racing for Porsche over the years and right now, since my father passed away, I just really dedicated myself in getting back into hardcore training to be in the pro series again, to be a professional race car driver, and I'm doing it for him. I feel like I just something that I'm called to do. So I've been training for about a year now and getting involved with some teams and talking to a lot of people. And in 2025, I'm definitely going to be racing one way or another. It's going to
okay.
happen.
Well, before we jump in back to acting, is there a particular race that you want to be in?
Oh, there's several actually. I was able to race at Indianapolis, which was one of my goals several times, and I raced to Laguna Seca several times. I also raced the California Speedway several times and tested race cars all over Mid Ohio. I want to go to Sebring. I definitely want to race the 24-hour Le Mans at one point or another. I would love to race for Porsche in Monaco.
Yeah.
Definitely that will be dedicated to my dad. But I've been simulating, using a simulator for about a year, mostly all the tracks around the world. So I'm pretty much simulator ready for any tracks, and physically ready too. I train 7 days a week. I'm training twice a day, every day. And I've dedicated for, like I said, over a year on getting back into having my body ready for racing. So now it's just a matter of finding the right series, the right thing that works for me with the right team who's willing to back me up and I'll do the same in reverse. So in 2025, I'm definitely want to race for Porsche in one way, or maybe Lamborghini would be great. There's a lot of series in America, North America, also in Europe. I would love to race in Monza or Imola or any of the European tracks, Silverstone, obviously. The list goes on and on. I just love racing. I really do. I really, at the end of the day, I really don't care what racing. Even the V8s in Australia, going to Bathurst, or the track in Australia, I would love to race that too. 20 hour, was it 12 hours? 12 hours of Bathurst or 12 hours of Sebring, Daytona, yeah, that Miami, Austin, Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's definitely sounds like a passion. And what's the
yeah,
need for speed? We've talked to professional race car drivers, Greg and I, and we learn
yeah.
about it, but what is it?
It's not the speed; it's a sport. It's really the whole sport that goes with finishing a race, and being able to finish in the points and working together with the entire team, the setup of the car, driving the car at full potential, knowing the car in and out, working with the engineering, the products, the type of car, the type of products that are associated with that car, the engines, obviously the factory, the chassis, the aerodynamics, the brakes, everything to me is so fascinating. And then when I relate that information, I'm very much a driver that it's very I can really speak my mind, and I'm very easy to understand. So for an engineer point of view, it's really exciting to work with somebody like me, because I can refer and I can relate the information back to my team in a way that is very understandable. Because you can be a great race car driver, but if you can't make the car better and you can't relate to different tracks and different setups and weather, everything, comes to play, then you can't really finish a race. And if you can't finish a race, you can, have points and actually, do what you're supposed to do for your team. So for me as a race car driver, I'm very much, especially now at my age, been racing in the world for a long time. So I'm very much educational kind of type of driver, where I can really relate all that information and make the car better. So I'm a really good test driver. I'm a really good race car driver overall. Um, and each lap, I'm very much a guy that pushes to the limit as far as cars and different. I've drove and tested different cars, and different setups, different engine horsepower and torque, and front wheel drive, rear, all wheel drive, in the rain, in the ice, in the snow. I've raced all kinds of stuff and tested. So I'm very much a driver that has a lot of information, and I really relate that very well to my team.
Wow, you're super passionate about it, that's for sure. So
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
ask you, do you even enjoy acting or modeling anymore?
Well, when it comes down to racing and you put me in a car, there's nothing else. But also, finishing a movie like Grace by Night, the movie that comes out this summer, that I had the pleasure of producing and being in it. When I was working on that film several years ago, it was the same kind of mindset. You're doing something you're so passionate about, you're in the zone. It's not even work anymore. It's kind of like every day goes by. You're being so involved in that product. So I can relate to that. And both racing and acting is very similar like that. When I'm in the zone and I'm doing something that I really love, and being around people that love it just as much. It's a team effort, it's the same thing. When we're doing a movie and producing a film, it was like being a team owner of a team, and working together with all the elements that make a film good. And so the same thing with racing as well. But with racing is also physical, and I want to give I'm in my 50s right now, so I want to give a really good 10 to 20 years right now to motor racing, and give it all I got. Physically, I know I can do it, so that's not even a question. So I'm just gonna give it my all and see what happens.
When you talk about specifically enough producing, that's your baby, right? Is that your first movie you've produced, or that it's your movie, or have you done
It's
others?
the first good one that I produced that I'm really proud of. That it's just really a well put together film from A to Z. It's one of those films that, as an actor, you want to be part of, because the way it was shot, the story, the acting, the performance from everybody, the music, the way it was edited. It's really a film that I'm so proud of, and really a good film. And it's really hard to make good films. It's not up to just an actor. It's up to the whole team and how it comes out and put together, and when it comes out. There's just a lot of things that really make a film good. And this one has everything good. So I've done a lot of films. I've done over 100 whatever productions, and this is a film that it checks everything, and it's close to as perfect as we could possibly make it. So to be that good, and not only me speaking, it's the awards that we've been winning, the nominations that we've gotten, the reception from people that have seen the film, the distribution company that just came on board. Um, yeah, just everything is telling me that what I saw, what I know that I'm part of, is a really good film.
Cool. Well, hey, when you were acting, who were some of the favorite actors that you enjoyed working with?
Well, I worked with, from Heather Locklear to Robert Wagner is another one, a class act, just one of the last of the Mohicans. That's just a legend. Working with my father was great. Several times I worked with him. Um, I just love working with Michael Ironside, Eric Roberts. The list goes on. Just people that I just sat around and talk stories about movies that they've made and situations, directors that they work with, and how was it working with this actor and such and such and such. So I've met a lot of people. I met people from De Niro to from athletes to Sugar Ray Leonard, one of my favorite boxers, and Michael Schumacher, seven-time world champion, F1 driver, so many other drivers. So this business and from the athlete part of it, the racing also, and acting have really introduced me to a lot of amazing legends, from Chuck Norris to, I even worked with Bruce Lee's daughter. I've met presidents, vice presidents. I've met people from all over, from all over. And you just learn a lot from human beings and what they've done and the amazing things that they have been able to do, and win races or win awards, or, working with William Friedkin, who did, he directed The Exorcist and French Connection. He passed away several years ago, and God bless him. And work with people like that and so many others. I mean, the list is long. I am just fascinated by the fact that, one, I'm still in it, still doing what I love to do. Um, and also just the fascinating life that I've had and the people that I've encountered and worked with. And it's been incredible. I've been truly blessed.
I think now more than ever, because you want to create your own stuff, be a producer, have your own things. It's important because there's content needed now because of the
Yeah.
strike, because of what's gone through. There's a huge opportunity for
Yeah.
creators right now, isn't there?
There is, and there's a lot of countries that need to benefit from that. Like for example, Australia. I opened up a studio over there, production company there. There's a lot of possibilities there for new content. There's always room for new content. I mean, in the industry that I work in, the industry that we all work in is really an industry that needs more information, more content, more shows, more positive shows, I believe. There's just a lot of things that we need to do that could focus on positivity, on love, on kindness a little bit more, I think, and everybody needs it, me included. So I would love to do more shows that are truly positive, and make you feel good by the end of each episode. And I think that with so much information coming to us in our social media, we're introduced to a lot of negativity, because that's the one that catches the most eyes. And I think we need to focus on more positivity that catches the eye instead.
Yeah. So I've noticed, over the years, you've been very involved in politics. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit. How's that been for you personally,
Well,
for your career?
I was in politics because I wanted to find out for myself how it really works, how the whole system really works for both parties. And now I'm an independent. I don't take sides with either party. I decide when it's time for me to vote to decide who I'm voting for, but I'm not, both parties are wrong, both parties are right. But at the end of the day, they're all working for the money, they're all working for the dollar. And there's only a few individuals who actually care. Because being a politician, or at least the politicians that I wanted to become, was a citizen who really cared about the neighbors, the environment, the neighbor, the country, the flag, the military, things that really, that I'm really, just really 100% for. In my core, who I am is really, in this country, which I love so dearly. So for me, it was like, let's learn as much as we can. Let's get in. Let's see how it works. And I was just, I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it was going to be as bad as the things that I saw and how the whole system works. The government, unfortunately, and this goes from any government, even the Italian government, is just even as bad, but they don't care about the American people. Both parties don't care about the citizens. They don't care about their neighborhoods. They really don't care. All they care about is themselves. So you see more politicians becoming millionaires, by the way they regulate the stock market and the way they regulate the political laws that go into play to structure in a way that they win when the market closes, because it's all about money. And politicians control the market, they control the country on their policies, and they're also controlled by the people who are bigger than all of them, who decide what goes into play so they can benefit for themselves. And the American people who pay everything from both parties taxes, and it goes back in the country, supposedly, are the bank. And the politicians are using the people to get bigger and more powerful, while the American people are getting weaker
Wow.
and more poor. So anyway, I've learned my lesson. I really know what I need to do as an American citizen. Just, obviously be the best I can be for my country, but also focus on myself, my family, be a better human being. And that's how I can give back to my nation. But to fight for political office, and then to at the end of everything, you win your seat, you go to Washington, you become a congressman or whatever, and then you're owned by the people who actually pay you a lot of money, not by the people that actually voted for you, but by few folks who are very, very wealthy, and they control everything. And so it's just an unfortunate thing. I tell to everyone, how do we fix it? Well, the best way to fix it is to be a really good American citizen and make the right choices for you, and showcase that to your neighbors. And hopefully everybody kind of just sees that, and works on something like that. You showcase the way you live, and put God first, put things, and make you a better human being. And that's all you can do. But,
Yeah, and
everything.
definitely sound like a politician in your answer too. So, but I understand exactly what you're talking about. Is
Yeah.
before I interviewed former Congressman Jason Altmaier, and Jason's out living in Florida now, and he flat out said he's was a Democrat that was in the center, and he said he could not run for Congress again
Mhm.
because it's either you have to be far far right or far far left, or you're not going to get the base at all.
Yeah.
And even if you want to make changes and work across the aisle, that's not what they want.
Right.
It's the system is about chaos and
Yeah.
seeing what's happening. And so if you choose that, you choose a lot of negativity. And I think that you're not looking for negativity, Antonio.
Well, anytime you go in the limelight, anytime you speak your mind about political stuff, you're going to be ridiculed. You're going to be, you're going to have people are going to like you, and people are going to hate you. And so you got to have a strong core. But you got to have a strong core. I wouldn't have made it this far if I didn't have a strong core and really care about what God thinks about me, and what my family and my close team thinks about me. Everything else does not matter, because I know I'm a good person, and I know I work hard. But like I said, when you talk about political stuff, especially nowadays, which is crazy to me that you can't even have conversations about things that are related to the political world, because if you disagree, or they disagree with you, it just goes nowhere, and there's no room for conversations anymore. People don't want to hear it. So the best thing I could do, because you can't really change people's minds, and just live the best you can, give back to the community, and be a good role model, good human being. Um, that's all I can do. That's more than enough, because I think that showcases more my life and what I want to do. And also, I have more fun racing and making movies than the political stuff, anyways.
All right. Okay. Greg, what other questions do you have for Antonio?
Had the German Shepherd muter on. There we go.
Okay.
Do you have any other plans for producing any more films in
Oh
the?
yeah, I would love to. There's a lot of scripts that I own, a lot of scripts that I've read through people that I know that I would love to make. Where do I start? There's all kinds of, from dramas to romantic comedies to action-driven projects and TV shows. There's a lot of good stuff, and which I'm really happy about, because after Grace by Night, which is opening this summer, I want to continue making, there's nothing better than working on projects that are really well made and well written. It's like the same thing for musicians, or if
Yeah.
you're an athlete racing with the best team, you just you want to keep winning. You're working with people that are just as professional as you. So I want to keep that going, and so my next film will be something just as good or better than Grace by Night, which is going to be it's going to be very difficult to do. But those are the goals. Those are the things I want to do, and in the process of that, I want to focus on racing as well, and try to do. I mean, I'm a busy guy no matter what. I really don't get a lot of sleep. So for me, it's the busier I can be, the better, and having my family there with me, even better. So that's
Yeah.
the goal.
You're definitely running in so many directions. Remind me of me in
Yeah.
a way. And if you knew Greg's schedule, Oh man, he's up a lot. You
Good.
probably could be
Good.
both up at the same time if you were in California or wherever. But that's the thing of leadership. Once you get are given responsibility, it's your job to work
Mm.
as hard as you can with that responsibility. And with your brand as a celebrity, your brand as the ability, because you've done well in your career, to make a difference and get other people work and entrepreneurship in general. That's what it is. And people don't understand that the more successful you are, the harder you work. It's if you want to keep
Also, you got to put it out there. I think it's important to team up with people because you don't know who you're going to meet. You don't know who, where we talk right now, for example, you never know who's going to listen to us talking about and ideas come up. So I'm always involved in creating new ideas, new projects, new reality shows, new ventures, new products that we can sell. Just if you don't talk about it and you don't throw it out there to people, you'll never know. And so for me, is always put myself on the line. I'm always surprised to hear from people calling me back. I heard you talking about this. I want to get involved with you on this, or I heard about you mentioning this project. I like to get involved. So, yeah, I think ideas need to be expressed. They need to be talked, and you always got to just live on the line, really on the edge of life. You never know what's going to happen next. And that's what makes it so exciting for me, is that I'm always pushing and always throwing it out there to see who can be, who wants to work with me. We never know what ideas they want to do. We can combine them together with mine, and there's just a lot to do. The day is not long enough.
I
So you
wish that's
mentioned,
yeah, go ahead, Gary.
I was going to say, you mentioned family. Do you have kids?
I do. I have
What's that
three
look like?
wonderful
Yeah.
children, and also my oldest, Jack, had a baby, so I'm a grandfather. I'm a
Oh,
no. I'm a I'm a young grandfather, and the best for my son Jack and his family, and my granddaughter Isabella, beautiful angel, and then I have a daughter, and then my little boy who just turned 13. So I'm good in the kids
Busy.
department. I have a great partner that I live my life with and dedicated to her, and yeah. So for me, it's really I have it all structured in the way that really works for me. So I feel like I have all the, everything to really hold me together and make me a better person, and also just the drive to do more, no matter what day, if it rains or shine, whatever, it's just to keep moving positively and making things happen all the time.
wow, that's impressive. Greg, you have that question for all of our celebrities, and this is where Greg is able to really get you to think. So go with your question, Greg.
I can't wait to hear this answer. I know it's going to be amazing. So, Antonio, thank you so much. Been a real pleasure. It's great to meet you. I've
Thank you.
enjoyed watching you on TV and so on as well. Um, so, tell me, Antonio, what do you feel is the most important thing in life you've ever learned?
Oh, the connection that I have with the Lord, the connection that I have, my faith, and how far I've been pushed against the wall, and you feel like it's over and the end of the line, and life is not worth living. But the faith has kept me together, and it's shown me that life is so much more worth living for. God, Jesus, the relationship that I have with Jesus Christ is incredible. It makes me a better person, and like I said, anytime I've been forced, or at least felt like I was being forced to give up, I never did. And I've actually came out of it on the other side a lot better, because of Christ, because the love and the relationship that I have with Him, and it's just a really amazing relationship for me to have, because it's not judgmental. It's not. It's a personal relationship, but it's unconditional love, and when you have that much love, for you, you start living it differently. You start wanting to give that love to others, and anytime there's a moment of lack of integrity, or you feel like you're not doing enough, Christ just puts me back to a humble place, and so that humble place makes me a better person, makes me a better person with the people that I'm associated with, makes me a better person with the type of professionalism I want to bring on a movie set, or on the team, or how far I'm willing to push as a driver, as an athlete, to train really hard, to have that diet, to have that regimen, to be dedicated to my girl at home, to be the best husband I can be, to be the best father I can be, to learn from my mistake, to say, oh, I did something I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. All those things, Christ has done for me, and it still does every day. So my faith is constantly surprising me and just making me a better person. So for me, it would be 100% the relationship that I have with Jesus Christ.
Beautiful answer. Thank you.
That was a great answer. Is there a place to learn about the film this summer, or you do have a website yet for that?
Everything will be posted on my Instagram. That's just the easiest way to see. We just won some more awards for the movie. So the last that I've known was the film that's coming out this summer between now and August. And I feel good about it. I kind of just let God do his thing on this, because we've been waiting on this film for 3 years, and we fought so hard to have this film come out in the theaters, because otherwise it would have been out in streaming and it would have been lost like all the other films. And this film deserves more. It's really that good. I'm not just saying that because I'm in it. I'm very proud of this film. It's really a film that the world needs to see. It's just got everything you need and some to make you a better person by the time you're done watching this film. And also, it's a film that you want to watch over and over again. It's one of those films that, the Rocky of the 1970s, where it was just a good motivational, really good structure film with all the elements for music, like I said, performance, storyline, everything, that it's just gives you the goosebumps. So we fought really hard, and now it's going to come out this summer, and right before the Olympics, I believe. It's got wrestling, it's got American wrestling. That's why I'm wearing this Thompson in Birmingham, Alabama, which is it's a great high school, but it's got one of the best American wrestling programs in the country. So I'm very proud of the film. So let's see what happens.
Thanks again, Antonio. We
Excellent.
appreciate it. All right. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and celebrity interviews live from the Grotto with Greg Hanna, guys. Take care.